On this channel, we hope you will join us on a voyage exploring the wonders of the cosmos. The universe is, to put it mildly, awe-inspiring in its immensity. No words can truly do justice to the immeasurable enormity of the vast expanse that we inhabit. However, we must have a starting point for such a journey. Before we explore the far reaches of space, we should first take the time to get our bearings here in our home, the solar system. And perhaps the best way would be to give you a brief tour of some of its most notable landmarks. Today, we will introduce you to 7 of the largest objects in our solar system. We are all familiar with Jupiter, by far the largest planet in the solar system, fittingly named after the king of the gods in the Roman pantheon. Lurking just beyond the asteroid belt and with a diameter of roughly 88,846 miles, Jupiter is about 11 times the diameter of the Earth. It is so big that every other planet in the solar system could fit inside it. More than 1,300 Earths would fit inside Jupiter. Even if the mass of all the other planets in the solar system combined into one superplanet, Jupiter would still be 2.5 times as large. This giant ball of gas is creatively called a gas giant. Hence why, despite its massive size, it is only a fifth as dense as the Earth. You probably already know about Jupiter's signature feature of the Great Red Spot, a giant spinning storm that looks like a hurricane. Almost 3.5 Earths would fit across the storm. Jupiter is believed to have a total of 67 moons, 14 of which are yet to be officially named. The 4 largest moons are known as the Galilean satellites because they were first discovered by Galileo in the year 1610. These are Io, Europa, and Ganymede. Perhaps it is not surprising that the largest moon in our solar system, Ganymede, also orbits our largest planet. Currently, NASA's Juno spacecraft, named after the wife of Jupiter in Roman mythology, orbits Jupiter and is studying the gas giant's internal structure. Ganymede is roughly 3,273 miles in diameter, larger than even Pluto and Mercury. Ganymede is so large that if it orbited the Sun, it would be considered a planet. Ganymede is a frozen world. It has an icy surface speckled with bright young craters, overlying a mixture of older, darker, and more cratered terrain laced with grooves and ridges. Although perhaps unimpressive at first glance, Ganymede holds many exciting mysteries for astronomers today. Variations in the surface show that some force has been reshaping the planet throughout its history. The Galilean space probe also discovered that it has a magnetic field, suggesting that it has an iron core that remains at least partially molten. And despite its size, the heat of its formation alone would not have been enough to melt its interior and form layers. For example, Callisto, another one of Jupiter's moons, is of a similar size and remains deep frozen. Perhaps most exciting is that Ganymede may also have a global ocean of salt water hidden beneath its surface that may contain more water than Earth, and potentially life. Stay tuned for more videos exploring the possibility of life in our own solar system. Mars perhaps has the most extreme variations of geography in our whole solar system. The low gravity and relatively static surface crust from lack of tectonic motion allows many large structures to form. We'll start with Olympus Mons, a volcano roughly 15 miles high and 3 times the height of Mount Everest on Earth. It simultaneously holds the title of largest volcano and mountain in our solar system. Fittingly named for the home of the gods of Greek mythology, it has a volume 50 times greater than Earth's largest volcano. The caldera on the top of Olympus Mons, made of 6 overlapping calderas, is over 70 kilometers wide and up to 3 kilometers deep. The mountain itself is 600 kilometers in diameter, with a 10-kilometer cliff surrounding it. Valles Marineris, or Mariner Valley, is more than 3,000 kilometers long, as much as 600 kilometers across and 8 kilometers deep. In comparison, our own Grand Canyon is 800 kilometers long, 30 kilometers across, and 1.8 kilometers deep. The origin of this even grander canyon remains a mystery. Scientists have proposed a number of theories about its formation. Early speculation was that it formed from erosion during a water-rich past or the withdrawal of subsurface magma. Today, however, most scientists think the formation of the Tharsis region helped the canyon to form itself. The Tharsis region contains several volcanoes, all of which dwarf those on Earth. As molten rock pushed through the volcanic region to form these monstrous volcanoes 3.5 billion years ago, the crust was heaved upward. The crust cracked, forming large faults and fractures across the surface of the red planet. These fractures, slowly growing over time, birthed this canyon system. It is also thought that perhaps subsequent landslides, magma flows, and even some ancient rivers contributed to the canyon's continued erosion over the following eons. Utopia Planet E on Mars has an estimated diameter of 3,300 kilometers. It was the general landing area of the Viking 2 spacecraft that landed there in 1976, and the target of the 2020 Tianwen-1 rover and lander mission. In 2016, NASA reported finding vast quantities of underground ice in the region. The volume of water has been estimated to be comparable to the volume of water in the largest of the Great Lakes, Lake Superior. However, Utopia may lose the distinction of largest crater in our solar system quite soon. A crater yet to be named was discovered on Ganymede on August 7 of 2020. At an incredible 15,600 kilometers in diameter, if it is determined to be formed from an impact, it would dwarf all other impact craters in our solar system. Ceres, while no longer technically qualified as an asteroid after being reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006, is by far the largest object in the asteroid belt. Coming in at 13.4 times smaller than Earth, it is one of the smallest dwarf planets we know of. There are millions and millions of asteroids in the asteroid belt, yet Ceres itself contains around 30% of the mass of the torus-shaped region and is the only object in that region surrounded by its own gravity. Despite occupying so much mass, it is nearly invisible to the naked eye. In comparison, the second largest asteroid, Vesta, occupies only 8% of the asteroid belt's mass, yet is the brightest asteroid due to its composition. Ceres, named for the Roman goddess of harvests, has a diameter of 940 kilometers and is the only dwarf planet inside Neptune's orbit. It was the first discovered object in the asteroid belt in the year 1801. Ceres and Vesta are both known as protoplanets. Both may have grown to be larger had Jupiter's powerful gravity not halted the growth of nearby objects. Studying them provides us insights into the building blocks of planets. Ceres has another thing that makes it of particular interest to astronomers: water. In later videos, we will be delving further into Ceres and Ganymede to discuss the potential for life in our own solar system. So stay tuned. Often, people refer to Pluto as being demoted into a lesser category of dwarf planets. However, there was a silver lining for our old friend. Pluto now holds the title of largest dwarf planet with a diameter of 2,370 kilometers. In 2015, the New Horizons space probe flew through the Pluto system and sent back images of a world with surprisingly complex geological features. Mountain ranges, frozen seas, and evidence of past icy volcanism. Why this distant, tiny, frozen world has such an active history is still being deduced by astronomers. You've been watching Astral. And remember, keep looking up.